Hey YouTube, it's Scotty B, and we're going to talk about my 1985 Chevy CUCV 5/4 ton truck. There's a lot going on underneath here, and this truck, I did do a lot of work to this. I basically call this another rattle can restoration, just kind of cleaning it up, making it work. You're not going too crazy. However, I did pull the top of the engine apart on this one, mainly because I had no service records and it had some issues running well. However, if you're not familiar with the CUCV series trucks that were made in the 1980s for the military, they were Chevy square bodies that were 1 ton. They, I think, added a few leaf packs to that's where they called it a 5/4 ton, meaning a ton plus a quarter. It's so that way you could have 2 guys in the cab and 1 ton of equipment in the bed of the truck. They were powered by 6.2 diesels. Some people hate these. I kind of like it. This was the first diesel I've ever worked on, first diesel I've ever owned. They're not that complicated. It's not fast. This one is non-turbo. All of them were, for the most part, were non-turbo. But you can turbo it if you want to go faster. However, I am totally fine with the 150 horsepower. It moves firewood and building materials or whatever you want it to move just fine for me. So one of the problems I had with this truck was, since I was not familiar with any service records, I had some weird gremlins when I first got it. And I started going through stuff, and finally I got to a point where I played that dangerous game when you get an old car, which is, I'm close to that, why not take that off too? That turned into a long time of working on it. But I can say that after getting all that done, I'm happy with it. But I came across an electrical issue. And it was with my... Let me get this guy here. Alternator. Now this truck is outfitted with 200 amp alternators. As you can see, there's 2 batteries right here for a total of 24 volts. Now, why did the military want that? Well, simply because everything else, for the most part, is 24 volts, and there is actually a connection in the front of the truck here to jumpstart another vehicle that's 24 volts. So if your tank does not want to start, the truck will help jumpstart the tank, and vice versa. However, the rest of the truck is not 24 volts. The cab, everything, all the civilian stuff, the regular, that's all 12. So really only your starter and half, well, I can't even really say half the glow plug system. There's a giant resistor that steps it down from 24 to 12, and that is to balance the batteries. I know it sounds kind of weird. There's a lot of technical information there. But anyways, make a long story short, I decided to have both alternators and the starters and the starter rebuilt. Because, 1, I wasn't sure. 2, didn't want this not starting somewhere and trying to find a 24 volt vehicle to jump you might be difficult. So, had both alternators done and the starter, put the truck back together, amongst other stuff that I did on it. Drove it for probably 1,400 miles, would you say? Maybe? So, got around there and had a problem with my voltmeter one day. Lights were dim, flickering. I started it up one day to drive it to work. I was like, oh, that's weird. Didn't really think about it. Drove it, seemed fine. Started up, no problems. Checked voltage. It was putting out 14 volts. Both of them should be. And then one day I noticed the volt gauge was not where it should have been. And I opened the hood and checked the voltage output for the front alternator, which is that alternator right there. That is your driver side alternator, and that powers basically the truck. So if you don't have that alternator working, this battery will not receive voltage, and eventually the truck won't be able to operate properly. The second alternator that I got right here charges your rear battery, which helps the truck start. So why am I holding the passenger alternator if I said there was an issue with the front one? Explain that later. Basically, this system is a 2-wire alternator. It basically uses a signal from the truck to engage the alternator so it can start to charge the battery. Now, when that signal is not picked up, the light in the truck it tells you generator 1, and there's just 2 lights, generator 1 and 2. They'll both flash when you go to start the truck to let you know that, hey, it sees the signal. Funny thing is the bulb is part of the circuit, so if the bulb burns out, your alternator won't work. Well, thank you, General Motors. But anyways, my light wasn't turning on, so I thought, strange. I had this alternator rebuilt. It's got to be something with the truck. So I tried checking the proper voltage I should see at the exciter wire. That's the one that sends 12 volts to the alternator, and it was all over the place. 3, 4, 5, 6, jumping around. 0. I'm like, what is going on? I got a short somewhere, or maybe a bad ground somewhere. Something's not right. Something in the cab could be wrong. I had the instrument cluster rebuilt. Maybe something in there is bad. Maybe there's something with the bulb is not touching correctly. So I went through this whole rabbit hole of diagnosing the circuit inside the truck. And finally one day it occurred to me, because I was frustrated, I was upset, I was like, I need this thing to work. I actually had to go pick up stuff from my girlfriend's house, and we needed to move all this stuff, and it was like, I need this truck today. Like, I need this thing to work today. And I was getting frustrated, driving myself crazy, checking all this voltage, chasing wires. I took the bulb out. I even took the bulb out and ran jumper wires to it, fired it from the battery. The bulb worked. Okay, the bulb works. Okay, I'm getting 12 volts here. Wait, now I don't have 12 volts here. Well, then it occurred to me, if I had just thought about how the system operated more, when you turn the truck on and it's cold, the glow plug system operates. Well, that draws 12 volts. If I would have just taken a couple minutes to realize that's why I saw voltage inconsistencies. My meter was picking that up. Had I just waited for the glow plugs to stop cycling, or had I just unplugged the solenoid to begin with, I would have had 12 volts at the exciter wire, and when I grounded the exciter wire to the alternator ground, the light in the dash illuminated to tell me the system worked. So that's a shortcut for you. If you have a 2-wire system and you're like, I don't know if it's my alternator or if I don't know if it's my vehicle wiring, just ground the exciter wire, and if the bulb illuminates, more than likely your system works the way it should. However, I was so pig-headed into believing that the alternator, there was nothing wrong with the alternator. Actually, there was. The alternator had, I should have just checked the alternator, because it was not reading continuity. It was outer limits. So there was a short somewhere in the alternator. It ended up being maybe I'm wrong with the terminology, it's called the rotor. Had an open in it, and usually that component doesn't fail. That's what my alternator guy told me. He replaced it and fixed it all for me free of charge. And then I had him build me a bonus alternator, because basically these are the same alternators they used on Cadillacs back in the 70s, or no, I should say 70s and 80s, GM27 SI alternator. So if you get one of these off a Cadillac and it's a GM27 SI, have it rebuilt with isolators, have it ground isolated, it's basically the same alternator for these trucks. So that's a good shortcut for you. But the whole purpose of this video was basically to explain, like, when you first start working on stuff and you're working on a vehicle, or if you are experienced, do not go, there's nothing wrong with the part because it's new or because it's been rebuilt. Look at that too. And don't get frustrated, because when you get frustrated, you don't think clear. You start, I need this truck, I need this, I got this work, I got to finish this job. Sometimes it just you got to take a couple minutes, take a step back, remember how the system works, and then you'll figure out, maybe it is this. And bonus, if you have one of these trucks, cool thing to know is, senses why the second alternator is not here when I had a problem with the driver's side. You can run this off of one alternator in a pinch. My secondary alternator was good, so the secondary alternator is now in the driver's side. And this battery, as long as it stays charged, will start the truck and fire the glow plugs, and the rest of the truck will run fine just off the one alternator. So we drove the truck with one alternator for a little bit, and it was fine. Actually, I started this thing up, backed it up to let it run and warm up for a bit, because it's been sitting since November or somewhere around there. It's been sitting for a while. I probably should not let it sit that long, but hell, it didn't care. It fired right up. That's what's cool about these old vehicles. They can tolerate sitting for a bit. So there you go. That's just a little tidbit about what I'm doing on the truck, and just a little info for yourself. If you have any comments on these trucks or square bodies, just let me know what you think. photos too. And yeah, if you want more content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. You don't have to, but it would be appreciated. So thank you for watching. Have a good day. See you guys later.